me in the pod to chat through how Ipswich have found life back in the Premier League this season and whether they're well positioned to win the mini league they're in and ward off relegation. I'm happy to welcome back Dave Dymond from the Ipswich Town podcast, Blue Monday. Welcome back, Dave. Good to speak with you again after the first game of the season.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for having us back on. Yeah, seems a long time ago now, doesn't it?
It does. I think we were both saying that. I mean, like, we weren't sure what to expect with this season, and I think that you were pretty much ready for whatever roller coaster came your way. To be honest, I think when we spoke right at the start of the season, and you assured me that opening game at home, that the Ipswich would come and take the game with the usual approach and try and play sort of the attacking football that you got used to under Kieran McKenna. And I think you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but it seems to have largely held true for the vast majority of the season in terms of how Ipswich have approached these games. But I wanted to, I guess, ask you, it's hard to consolidate everything and give me your thoughts. But since that opening game, I suppose not knowing too much what to expect from this season, what have you made of how the side has acquitted themselves?
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult. If you remember, it's got a difficult opening pair of games. Well, we've just got the corresponding fixtures. Obviously, we've just played. Obviously, we won't dwell too much on it. We've just played Man City at home, and obviously we're at Anfield on Saturday. But the corresponding fixtures at the start of the season, obviously, were the reverse one. So we had Liverpool at home. Obviously, you guys. And then City, if you remember, the very next Saturday. And yeah, we approached. I mean, I remember the Liverpool game for the first half. There really was not a lot in it. Honestly, we took the game. I kind of took the game to Liverpool. And Liam Delap, who's been obviously all the news about Liam Delap, our centre forward, number 9, was absolutely superb and absolutely bullied. I remember that game, Quansah, first half, so much so that Slot took him off at half-time and put on Canate. Well, you're not really going to, no matter how good or strong Delap was, he wasn't going to bully Canate. So just a bit on that game, that totally changed the game. Plus, Trent played about another 5 or 10 yards further up a pitch, and it's just different. It was different game in the second half. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we've gone with that approach. Pretty much most of the games, I'd say, and we've been competitive in most of the games. Early part of the season, obviously, we lost 4-1 at Man City. No disgrace there back then. And then picked up a few draws, and then we lost 4-1 to West Ham away, which really, I would say, was totally reflective of that game, really. We didn't really play that well. I don't think really it was a 4-1 game. And so we were still waiting till early November for a first win, which, if you remember, we won at Spurs. And that was pretty much, I think, the first game where we went from our standard sort of 4-2-3-1, we went to 3 centre-backs, 3 centre-halves. So almost a hybrid, 5 at the back with, as you know, our wing-back, certainly our left wing-back, Leif Davies, pushes on. And it took, so that was fine. Then you get the odd result, very competitive, one away at Wolves last minute, great result. And then we played Newcastle at home just before Christmas. Again, played the same 4-2-3-1, and they were just superb that day. We lost 4-0. So then we went into the Arsenal game just after Christmas, again, coming off a 4-0 defeat at home. And played pretty well, went 5 at the back, only lost 1-0. Really, Arsenal, wouldn't say missed. We didn't create much, I've got to say, but Arsenal did really, you wouldn't say they missed too many gilt-edged chances. I don't think they did. And then took that into the next game. We won 2-0 at home to Chelsea. We drew 2-2 away at Fulham. And it's just the last week we've taken a bit of a knock. Brighton did a job on us really second half after scoring first. We got beat 2-0 at home. Then obviously I will have to mention it. Man City just turned up Sunday it was. And we got beat 6-0. Again, they scored 6 goals in 45 minutes either side of half time, which was kind of weird. So the overall answer to your question, yes, we've been competitive in most games other than the odd 1 or 2 really, which has been great. Look, the bigger game for us, we're at Anfield Saturday, by far the biggest game for us, and probably it'll be the biggest game so far this season. The very following next Saturday week, we've got Southampton at home. And I know you go through scenario seasons when even Liverpool must have it, where you have, this is a must-win game. When you've been, not so much this season for Liverpool, but when they've been competing, with Man Cities and the Arsenals in the past for the title, you had these must-win games. And I hate that expression, but I'd say Saturday week is a must-win game against Southampton. I think if we've got any pretense of staying up, really.
No, it certainly feels like it when you look at the table and the opportunities that are available for you. And I think, yeah, it's a weird one with Liverpool. I think it has a must-win games. I think when you're dealing with the probably just the trauma of title races past, actually, it does feel like every single game is a must-win, and you have to sort of actually keep reminding yourself that actually this season is not a season where you're being chased by that sort of Death Star from Manchester. Actually,
yeah,
it's a very different one this time round. And as you were talking through some of the results there, I mean, it sort of brought me on to my next question, and in that you mentioned right at the start of the season that it was going to be an adventure, you were looking forward to it, but you had confidence that this side could stay up as well. But on some of these games that you mentioned, that there are quite a handful of draws there, which show that the side has been hard to beat. Some teams there where I think there's absolutely zero shame in drawing against them actually sort of really illustrates how well you must have played in terms of course, how Villa have played this season. Fulham, I think the way in which Fulham have grown into
drew twice with Fulham. I suppose it will happen over the course of the season. We're disappointingly, we've lost points, and it will happen over the course of the season. We've dropped points in like the very last minute. We were drawn at Brentford and soft goal. We were winning against Fulham up to the 90th minute, and they got another penalty. It was a penalty, but I mean, over the season, I guess but then on the flip side of that, we got a very late winner, virtually last kick of the game against Wolves. So I guess that evens itself out. But what I've realised, and I know my fellow podcasters, I think, will say to a man, is what's really surprised is, and maybe that's even evident from the very first game against Liverpool, just the physicality and the athleticism.
Yeah.
The sheer size of some of these teams. That's what's moved on. So, I mean, Ipswich, obviously, prior to this season, haven't been in the Premier League for 20-odd seasons, but that's what's moved on. I mean, just incredible. And in some games, we've just, some of our more technical players, perhaps Amari Hutchinson and players like that, have almost been bullied out of games quite fairly, but just the strength of the opposition is just... And sheer athleticism and obviously the technical ability, it's on a totally different level. It really is. And I think what we have said, for us really to stay up pretty much in nearly all of these games, we have got to be playing at 100%, maybe 100. We have got to be playing up there 100%. We've got to hope that some of these teams are perhaps at slightly off it, maybe 80%. Plus, then you have to have a bit of luck with the AR. You have to have a luck with that. And also a bit of luck along the way in these games. So I think, some of that has gone against us this season, some of the VAR stuff. But again, you hope that just evens itself out.
I actually remember when I think Slot was asked about the opening game against Ipswich, and of course lots was being made of that change with Kwanzaa coming off and Konate coming on, and you're right, Konate is a very different proposition to be dealing with. But I remember that they were pretty intent to get him to say something tactical, and he was like, well, no, it's just that actually most of it was just running.